Your child is playing their favorite online game. Another player joins them. Then a message appears. They start chatting, and maybe your child has seen this username before. Or maybe they've even played together before. But do they actually know who's behind that username? And perhaps the more important question will be, do you? Good day and welcome back to Family Cyber Tips Weekly. Now, I'm not suggesting that every unfamiliar player is dangerous, far from it. But if your child games online, you should know who can communicate with them. And here's why. Research from Children's Commissioner found that among 13 to 17-year-olds who play video games, 51%, yes, 51, said someone they didn't know had sent them a message or chat while gaming. Now, that doesn't mean those conversations were harmful, and it certainly doesn't mean every unfamiliar player is dangerous. What it tells us is this: contact with people they don't know is common. And so as parents, we need to understand how that contact works. Okay, so think about this. Your child might recognize a username. They may have played together yesterday, last week, perhaps even for months. And over time, that username begins to feel familiar. They may know how this person plays. They may know which games they like. They may even call them an online friend. But familiar online doesn't necessarily mean known offline. Recognizing a username doesn't necessarily tell your child who is actually behind that account, okay? So rather than panic, I want you to remember just 3 questions. Who, where, and what, okay? Let's look at the who. I don't want to undermine this, okay? Who can actually contact your child? Is communication limited to friends? Can other players message them? What about voice chat, friend requests, private messages? Don't assume. Check. And ideally, check the settings with your child. Let's look at where, okay? Where can that conversation go? It might begin inside the game, move into chat, then perhaps into a private message, or even onto another app or platform. Now, that doesn't automatically mean something bad is happening, but does your child know what to do? If someone they've never met wants to move the conversation somewhere else, this isn't about frightening them or indeed frightening you. It's about helping them recognize when an ordinary gaming interaction begins to change. And finally, what? What are they sharing? When we tell children don't share personal information, they may think we simply mean passwords, phone numbers, or addresses, but small details matter too. Their school, where they live, their routine, even another username. One detail may reveal very little, but several details together, as we've announced on this platform, can reveal much more. So remember, who can contact them? Where can that conversation go? And what are they sharing? And this isn't a fringe concern. It's getting serious attention here in the UK. Let's look at what's changing. The UK government has announced new child online safety measures, which specifically target strangers communicating with children, including through gaming services. The important point is this: The government isn't proposing to stop children playing multiplayer games. It's targeting the ability of unknown users to communicate with them. The changes are expected to begin from spring 2027. You know, as parents, we don't need to wait until 2027. Let's see what we can do today. And indeed, we can do something, okay? Starting today. And it doesn't begin with taking the game away. Come on, yeah? I'd like you to do 3 simple things. Check, ask, and agree, okay? Let's look at check first. Sit down together and check who can communicate with your child through the games they actually play. Look at text chat, voice chat, private messages, and friend requests. Then ask. But instead of asking, are you talking to strangers? Try this. Who do you normally talk to when you're gaming? See, that's a conversation. It's not an interrogation. And finally, agree. Agree what your child should do. When something doesn't feel right, they must know what to do, okay? Don't share personal information with someone you don't really know. Be cautious if someone tries to move the conversation somewhere else. And if a conversation becomes uncomfortable, secretive, pressurizing, or simply feels strange, tell a trusted adult. Now, your child doesn't need to be frightened. Frightened of everyone they meet online, really, and neither do you as a parent. But remember that recognizing someone's username isn't necessarily the same as knowing who is behind it. The who, the where, and the what. So this week, check your child's gaming communication settings, okay? And ask them, who do you normally talk to when you're gaming? Because keeping our children safer online isn't only about knowing what they're playing. It's also about knowing who can reach them while they're playing those games. Being your host, Lawrence Idem. Until next week, Monday at 6 p.m. God bless and goodbye.